700 deaths in Korea. Then my war, I say that because I participated twice, I certainly didn't start it. 58,200. Anybody here that besides me that from Vietnam? All right. I want to chat a little bit about the Vietnam War because that was a little bit different. I'm sure you guys can remember that when we came home, we were kind of told when you got to the States, take off your uniform, go home in civilian clothes, because the country doesn't like you. And that hurt. And I'm sure if you ask all these Vietnam vets, they'd all tell you the same thing. That hurt. We ducked bullets for 12 months at a shot, and now I have to hide to go home. Didn't really like that. But I think we have to understand a couple of things happened in the Vietnam War that were a first. Number one, we had politics involved. That's a serious, serious problem. The only person of a political string that should be involved with the war is the president. He's the commander-in-chief. My senators and my congressmen know diddle squat about war, and we need to keep them out of it. The other thing was we had too many crazy rules. We couldn't shoot at the enemy even when we saw them with their helmets on and the red star. They had to shoot at us first. We used to go out at night and fly in 3 helicopters. 1 plane helicopter and 2 gunships. We drew straws to see who got to fly the plane helicopter, and you'll understand why. Because we used to go out at night, the 2 gunships would turn off all their lights. The Slick would turn on all its lights, including the landing lights. We used to land in the rice fields. Dumb enough, intentionally, to try to get bad guys to shoot at us so the others could shoot at them. Doesn't take you very long to figure out that's not a good idea. But that's what we did. We did crazy things like that. Some time ago when I was a salesman and I traveled on the road, I listened to Jan Michelson. If you're a guy that travels on the road a lot, it gets very boring. Talk radio is the best way to pass that time. Somebody called in and said, we need to forget about Vietnam and just move on. That was in the day before cell phones. So I immediately stopped at the first payphone and made a phone call to Jan Michelson and got on. The thing we have to remember from Vietnam, and we need to remember it every day so that we don't ever do it again, and that is, Mr. President, Mr. Congress, don't you ever commit our soldiers, airmen, Marines, and sailors unless you're willing to leave them alone and let them do their job. Give them the mission and get out of their way and let them win, because every time you interfere, it's 10 steps backwards. As I said, I felt pretty bad about that, but I was reading a book put out by Colin Powell, General Colin Powell. I'm sure a lot of you know who he is, but in this he talked about a speech that he gave at the Vietnam Memorial, the Black Wall, and it helped me kind of get a grip on it and understand that some people did appreciate it. So I want to read what he said in that speech. He says, you need no redemption. You redeemed yourself in the Ah Sha Valley. You redeemed yourself at Hue. You redeemed yourself at Dao Tiang, at Khe Sanh, in the South China Sea, in the air over Hanoi, or launching off Yankee Station, and in 1,000 other places. The parades and the celebrations are not needed to restore our honor as Vietnam veterans, because we never lost our honor. They're not to clear up the matter of our valor, because our valor was never in question. 236 Medal of Honors say our valor was never in question. 58,175 names on this wall say that our valor and our value and our service were never in question. My friends, Americans have placed their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor in harm's way from Concord Bridge to Gettysburg, from Normandy to Pork Chop Hill, from the Oshaw Valley to the Valley of the Euphrates. Colin Powell. Steve, could I get you to bring my bottle of water up? Moving on from there, the Gulf War. Any veterans from the Gulf War? Any veterans from the Gulf War? There's a lot of you. There must be one over there. We've had 382 deaths in the Gulf War. The War on Terror. Anybody's back from a tour on that? I know Lynn's husband is over there now. We've had 5,500 killed in that. Grand total since World War II, we've had 620,000 veterans killed. And if you add up the killed, wounded, and missing, 2 million. 2 million. So why did all these veterans take a stand? Why did all these veterans leave their families to go to far-off lands, not knowing whether they'd ever come back? Some of them was because Uncle Sam tapped you on your shoulder and said we're going. But there's an awful lot of volunteers in there too. What would cause anybody to do that? What would do that? I happen to believe it's liberty. Ever since the American Revolutionary War, America has been a nation that loved liberty, loved freedom, loved being able to live where we want to live, marry whom we want to marry. Now that's assuming the other party feels the same way. You know, got to have them crazy rules. Love being able to earn a living in an occupation that they like doing, and they loved having the opportunity to succeed or to fail. Now, I know a lot of people don't understand that last part. But you don't have to have a fancy-dancy business plan to get going. You have the right to fail. You have the right to succeed. We've always been a people that stood up for liberty, ours as well as others. We have always been willing to help others who wanted freedom and liberty. We're not a land-grabbing country. Other than the natural expansion westward of this country from when it was founded, the only land we've ever sought was enough land to bury our dead. All of us that were veterans have taken an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I'm sorry to say, folks, we need to wake up and look around. We need to see what's going on. We have to wake up. It's easy to spot the enemy when they come right at us and openly attack us. But it's very difficult to see the dangers when they come from within. And I'm telling you, folks, we are under attack. Our way of life is under attack. We're under attack from within. We have a group of progressives that wants everything for nothing, and it's going to take us down. Our liberties and our freedoms are being taken away from us on a daily basis. Our elected officials have assumed the role of royalty. They no longer believe that they work for us. An example of that was they ignored us on the health care bill after all the town hall meetings, after all the phone calls. They still ignored us. They no longer care about us. It's all about them. It's all about power. And I'm not picking on any particular party here, folks. It's everybody in Washington. The R's and the D's and the I's are all the same. It's all about power and control. They view us as a pawn to push wherever they want, and they think they know more than we know. Now, name me one government organization that functions well, other than our military, when they leave us alone.